Frenzy. So, yeah. And, I mean, it worked for him in Game 2. I guess why not in Game 3? The one issue, I think, is when you pick the same heroes, obviously, like great teams like Sync and obviously the captain and drafter, Insania, that he probably knows why they lost Game 2. Perhaps maybe the laning phase went wrong or the draft was so focused on the laning phase and they just didn't get off what they needed to get. But in Game 3, obviously, they can sort of think about and analyse their mistakes and then rectify them in Game 3. And if you play exactly the same draft in Game 2 and then in 3, Sync will know how to beat it. Obviously, Reason are going to change up a little bit, obviously, with the Madman pickup now. But those first 3 heroes, I think Insania has a good idea of how to deal with them because of playing against him in Game 2.
Yeah, and I also really wonder, is Sync going to go back to running a jungler here? Now, again, when it comes to jungle options, Ophelia and Parasite banned right off the bat. So it's understandable they are somewhat limited. You got Tempest still on the board, sure. Solstice was banned in the next tier banning phase. So, really you got heroes like with Tempest or maybe even a Legionnaire, which you've definitely seen Slap run before. But are we going to actually see 3 games in a row where Sync does not run a jungle? That would be something, because that's not something they do often. So
I think if Ophelia or Parasite was on the board, I think they would pick it. But in this game, I don't think they're going to pick up Tempest. The reason being is because they have Deadwood, who can easily cancel a Tempest, even if he goes strong ahead because of the Uproot and the Willowmaker. So it's a pretty big counter if they do decide to pick up here. But maybe they're going to go back to old ways and try it in Game 3, particularly similar to how Tree did obviously in Game 2 and 3 of their own games, where they stopped playing junglers. So who knows?
It's interesting, too. I kind of just remember this, how we had Zlapped on last weekend. He was co-casting with us, and he actually brought up the point, though, that they would have rather faced Willowkeeper here in this. Like, they were not happy to hear that they were having to face Reason Gaming, but, again, Willowkeeper, they have their number, no doubt. And, hell, Reason, overall, even with that loss, they're still 5-1 against them, but they understand. They said they hated, or he said he hated playing against them because of Imba Boy especially, and just, how he farms and whatnot, and how it's frustrating. But so you got to take that into consideration, too, here. And what is now a new day, and again, now being Game 3. Cthulhu fought the final pick, by the way, with the Madman on top of that. So, interesting finish. I do wonder, is that going to be a jungle Cthulhu fought? I got to think it is with what they have here.
Yeah, they got no other secondary support, and Madman will be playing Suicide, so we'll see that in the jungle. And Nir played a good Solstice, although he had a bad score. I think he was quite crucial in terms of winning them that game. So have maybe a similar impact in this game as well.
Yeah.
To see. Sync, they're thinking for the. I think honestly, they're thinking of whether they should pick up that Tempest or not, because it's the secondary support here or the Tempest, unless they want to maybe run a Legionnaire or a Keeper, which is definitely not out of the question here from Sync. And Legionnaire is actually not a bad pick, actually. But they can pick up the Warbeast instead. So.
See, though, but it's going to be a Warbeast jungle. I was going to say, it's going to be a Warbeast jungle, actually, not a Warbeast Suicide. So, of course, I think so.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, without a doubt. There's no secondary support. Same sort of story with Reason as well.
But
and I think in this game, a jungle Warbeast can work quite well. The reason being is whenever we used to see Warbeast jungle, it was, I think, normally Nullstone picked up because what you got loves to play it kind of thing. But whenever that happened, they would always get shut down in the laning phase because Warbeast is an incredibly passive jungler. But in this game, I don't think Reason can really punish it because they've got quite a greedy draft themselves. So there's no way they can really punish the slap jungle this game. Like, Doc Repulsor and Infora, very, very passive. Sort of similar to the Deadwood and Madman, at least in the early levels, and Cthulhu's going to be busy jungling in his own jungle as well. So I think if there is one good game to play jungle Warbeast, is this one.
I was going to say in the early game, very passive, but as he picks up, as we saw last game, Doctor and Infora especially, hell, you have the Deadwood on top of that trio of heroes. It's constantly going to be when he's most.
I'm talking laning phase. I'm talking about laning phase. I'm talking like first 10 minutes. Obviously, they're going to get aggressive, 15 minutes plus. But that's already what Warbeast needs. As long as he can get maybe the Abyss of Skull and level 6, he's fine after that kind of thing. But before that, he's incredibly vulnerable, and Reason won't be able to put that kind of pressure on before he gets that. So he should be fun. Come here.
No Congo attempt going to be coming out here, unfortunately. I know, but what I was getting at too with the jungle Warbeast, again, this is one of the downsides of running a jungle Warbeast is that you will not be getting Battle Cry, at least in most cases. They usually prefer to go the Primal Rage as passive to give his own individual jungling presence a little bit stronger. So don't expect glowing red hands at least earlier on here. Is there really? Oh, okay.
They found the mount. Sorry.
Well, he did the exact same thing in the first game. Yeah. So I'm glad Reason did that because it's like if they didn't, then if that's Marquezu.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's good because where else can he place it though? To be fair, like maybe in his own lane, but it's not really that useful. I like what they've done though because Swiftblade Suicide is still very very potent, even though you've got those nerfs. And with Tremble help, even if it's just with Boris, it can secure kills. So good play come out from TPS Pride Assist there. But going back to the Warbeast skill build though, he will only spec Battlecry, I think, if he needs to help his support out. If, for example, if Cthulhu was going aggressive jungle, I'm pretty sure he'd pick up the Battlecry so he could give Glacius a way to box out the Cthulhu. But in this case, he's going to max out the Primal Rage, I'm about 100% sure, because he's going to sort of secure the early game farm.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on over here? Swiftblade is spinning on top in Infora already. Making a point that he's not going to get some free harassment on him, so Flensmeister playing the Graspik, and Flensmeister playing the Suicide Swiftblade here. He's sure he has history playing Swiftblade, but not necessarily in the Suicide role. It's safe to say it's a little bit different of a play style. And then you got to be a little more aggressive at times, and also very passive. But so we'll see how he fares. You know, KZ would be usually the one, but in this case, KZ of course on Tremble, and understandably so. That means a short lane farmer of Pebbles being played by Mickey. But yeah, bottom lane again, a lot of harassment. He does get the battle cry.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm completely wrong in that respect.
Yeah.
I know Slapped is more of a believer on Battlecry than it is and not. And actually, wait. The reason why he's gone Battlecry actually is because of the summon Hellhounds has been reduced in mana cost. It's actually a lot more effective now to go Battlecry because obviously you have a lot more mana, and so you can utilize and get the Battlecry. Before you couldn't because the Hellhounds cost too much mana, but in this case, after the patch, Battlecry is a little bit more useful. Yeah. I completely forgot about that aspect.
Well, that's fair. Yeah. That's definitely fair. I still think you can argue the passive as a jungling Warbeast.
Yeah.
Is, of course, individually better. In the end, but yeah, when it comes to just team support, it's good having those glowing red hands for the team, of course, and having the laning impact and presence. In fact, he already has a level 2 Battlecry now on top of that. But yeah, that is definitely perhaps the ultimate reason.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, why that's the case here. He actually picks up a Haster and good rune control coming out. Going to continue to farm away with it. So overall farm here, you got Pebbles, he's basically having free farm up here, 14-5 now. At the bottom lane, Doctor 13-2. So pretty similar farm from the short lane carries here in this case. So yeah, Tremble ends up middle in the end. And you can argue Tremble's definitely up there as far as being one of the more powerful 1v1 heroes, especially in a melee matchup. So.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we haven't talked about though is that Deadwood is actually Suicide Lane instead of Embrace on the Madman. And I have to say I don't like it. The reason being is because with Deadwood, all he really needs to be effective is the Portal Key. And put him in the Suicide Lane, he's not going to get that. We might be in trouble, actually.
Yeah, Rotten Grasp, it does hold Pebbles in place. And Pebbles loads log! Yes, the Hail Mary chuck for the turn kill! Well, that's why they put him up there, clearly. No.
Yeah, I guess so, but yeah, just great play count from Zane, and I guess Mickey just a little bit over-aggressive, and that is a big deal though, because normally whenever Sync play, Pebbles in the short lane, they get that early portal with such a big impact, and then he just sort of snowballs after that, but after that death, he's going to be delayed by quite a bit. Oh, actually, Madman middle lane.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble, going to go for the turn kill, may actually still get it, yes he will, so, I mean, yeah, that's good that Casey got it, but I want to say that's probably worth it.
Yeah, definitely. You get XP first. But yeah, just going back to the point about Deadwood being in the Suicide Lane, obviously he did get that kill, which is good and all, but at the same time, I still think Deadwood being mid would be a little bit better, because obviously you can get that early portal key, and then from there you can snowball, whereas Madman, if you get him good early farm, that's good and all, but he's still going to be AFK farming to become that late game carrier, whereas Deadwood, all he needs is that portal key, and then he can start roaming around, creating space for the Madman to farm after that. It just makes a little bit more logical sense, but at the same time, Deadwood would have quite a hard time against the against the Tremble, because obviously the Dark Swarm, whereas Madman can get last hits with Stalk, so maybe that's the reason why they decided to put him in that
Deadwood
lane.
Coming in right here. Tremble, he goes back in. I was going to say it looked like he noticed, but actually, I don't know if he did, but are they just simply rotating here? Or is Deadwood trying to set up a gank is the question. I'm pretty sure he's been spotted by now, of course. That he is nearby. So, KZ, you're going to play it somewhat safe. Again, you do see the glowing red hands constantly kicking in. And there's a Rotten Grasp now. They don't really have the best follow-up. Ooh, that's a pause coming out here. This is interesting. I think he's dead.
No, I don't think so.
Well, the log's coming out right here.
Yeah, it's not enough. I think he's going to get invis before that happens, I think. Plus he's got bolt charges. I think he should be fine.
That's true. He doesn't bottle. Man, what does he got? Yeah, he doesn't have cooldowns up right now. He just used them, so yeah, KSU probably is.
If they had dust or invis detection, they would kill him for sure. But I don't think they can catch him. Well, Madman does have boots though. It's going to be close. I think invis will he'll be like 1 or 2 attacks away, but I think he's going to go invis before he dies.
Well, no, he's not going to go because Madman's on top of him. That wouldn't make sense. How would he go invis? Because you can only go invis if no other hero's on the mound with you.
I meant, sorry, the mound above him, but that's why
goes up there. Okay.
Yeah, but Man has boots though, so he should be dead. He doesn't bottle charge. This is going to be close.
That's what I'm saying. I think the bottle charges maybe, if anything, are going to be the difference maker here. But it's kind of interesting how it's paused right here for us to analyze this in depth. How is this going to play out? Mammoth's like basically like hugging Tremble. It's kind of interesting. It's like literally inside Tremble. Anyways. Yeah, you got Warbeast now. Of course, level 3 Hellhounds. He's sitting on the level 2 Battlecry. So again, nerfing is a little bit of his individual maximizes farm,
still
but
farming really,
still
really
farming.
Well,
yeah, that's the thing. I say, you know, if you're just going for individual maximized farm, I still think it's safe to say Primal Rage is probably the best overall. But
it is.
Battlecry does apply a good buff to yourself too. So.
Exactly. I mean, 280 GPM is really good, and not only that, it allows KZ to destroy mid, but let's find out what happens middle lane.
Oh, here we go. What's going to happen with KZ? There's the slow. Okay, it does hit. Yeah. Could be a kill. Oh, no! Boar is actually trapped. Madman stuck in. Oh, he
it was
barely
close.
Gets it.
It was close.
Holy crap, it was close. Yeah, level 6 Madman now, and Embree's, well, wiping the sweat off his forehead after that one. That was very, very close indeed. But good job right there. 3-1 hero kill lead now for Reason Gaming. And yeah, this is again to start looking strong now. Again, with that said, we just talked about here's like a Warbeast. It seems like he's doing pretty well in the jungle so far, and want to be careful about that. Keeping an eye on that at least. And how he's progressing here. Swiftblade hasn't been able to get too much. Being a suicide Swiftblade, again, understandable. He's trying to harass at the pole camp over here, but that's not going to be really successful. Doctor sitting at about 366. He might go in. Yeah, Swiftblade, he has a spin. Oh, he uses it just in time. I thought it was
level
on
6,
cooldown,
he was dead. But talking of actually, when Dox gets level 6, I don't think Swiftblade can even be in this lane though, because I think he's too dangerous, or he's too volatile in this lane when Dox gets level 6. So yeah, I think Swiftblade might have to try and find his farm elsewhere when Dox gets level 6. I think he's just going to die elsewhere, I think. Unless he has a TP with him at all times, which is probably be easier. Because if Dox goes on and he can just spin TP out, which is probably what he's going to do. Oh, Warbeast actually dove onto Deadwood. But
well, actually, Cthulhu Font's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to trample through as he gets obviously put in place by Boris right there, held in place, but eventually going to be finding out. So got the double damage rune with the bottle charger. So good rune control, really, and he stays alive. Keeping it away from Tremble right there, so well played. And Madman is going to head towards top. No, it's already been picked up, so not going to do much for him.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing here for Reason is that they have to work well against the timing of the Blink Dagger and Pebbles, because actually bottom lane they do kill Flintmice, and this is what I was talking about. When you get level 6 on Doctor or Pulsate, there's going to be kills in the bottom lane. But honestly, I think it's a little bit of bad play from Flensmeister. I said if he has a TP, he can't die because he can just Blade Frenzy and TP before they can catch him. But he didn't have a TP with him, Breaky, so
that doesn't work then. Last time I checked, you cannot teleport back without a Homecoming Stone. So yeah, no, definitely. I kind of wonder if he's going to buy one here. Well, might be buy one to port. No, he's not going to do that. Or is he going to port with it though? If he ports with it, then that kind of defeats the purpose. He does get a mana pad. He's going to port with it, so that's what I was getting at. It's like, well, he gets one, but then he just uses it right away, so now he won't have one, at least for now. So we'll keep an eye on that once again.
But yeah, just going back to it though as well, like they need to really work around quite well against this Pebbles portal key. If they can maybe get one more kill on him to sort of delay it, that would be quite a big deal. But at the same time, it is risky, and they don't have the ways to do it. I think they need to get them for a level 6 before they can even think about killing their Pebbles. And at the same time, there's a lot of good, if not great, late game potential here from Sync. Tremble, Swiftblade, Warbeast, and Pebbles all sell incredibly well into the late game. And although Madman, Cthulhu, and Doctor's decent, I think it is definitely outweighed by Sync. So as long as they can deal well against the Portal Key ganks and have ways of dealing with Sync and the late game, I think they should be fun.
Boris right here finding Deadwood. I wonder if we're going to be able to try to kill Boris, but no, he's on the mountain now. He's going to start regenerating, going to be fine. Now, Veiled Ra onto Cthulhu Fun here at the top side. They want to definitely defend this. Now, Warbeast has an Abyssal Skull pushing in with the team. Got to be a little bit careful with this, though, because clearly Reason Gaming wants to defend this. Trample from Cthulhu Font is in pretty good position. Level 6 Deadwood as well.
Oh.
There's the trample, the obliterate. In comes the counter. Glacial downpour. Pebbles, he's still one alive. Puts a combo on Cthulhu Font, but Dr. Pulse joins the party, and the boom goes the dynamite onto Pebbles to finish him off. Down goes Glacius. Can Boris kill Cthulhu Font? No, he pushes him away. Oh, that's a Hellhound, excuse me. Down goes a Hellhound. So many minions here. Well played again by Reason Gaming.
Reason are on it. Like, literally, I just said if they can kill Pebbles again, that would be really big to sort of slow them down, and they do it just perfectly. Like, man, Reason are really on top because, I mean, it's quite easy for us to sort of sit back and say, oh, this is what they got to do. But when you're in the game as well, having like strong leadership say this is what we're going to do is very, very impressive. And Imberboy, although he's playing carry, he knows what to do in terms of leadership as well.
There's the point at the bottom lane for Flensmeister. TP's out while spinning. He was just simply getting away or going elsewhere even, because I guess he's just going back to base to regen, also upgrade maybe that power supply there, but just in case the jump was going to be happening. But yeah, definitely a big kill on Pebbles indeed. Deadwood now at the top lane again. He's level 6 here, so his farm not the prettiest, despite being 2-0-2. So Zane, that's where you got to give him credit to an extent. I mean, 2-0-2 for a suicide Swiftblade, or a suicide Deadwood, basically. Pretty impressive there, definitely. Able to have at least a decent impact here. So, again, you keep looking back at Sync, though. You know, we mentioned how this is a slower starting team for Reason, at least that was kind of on paper to an extent. But this Hellborn team definitely is as well. You know, Warbeast, a Tremble, they're going to start slow here as they are. Deadwood, he's in trouble. He's going to fall most likely. Warbeast, the ulti form, and Slapped gets credit for the kill right there. So, good collapse onto him to take him out, as Imberboy did deny the bottom tower in the meantime. So. But my point is, don't get too excited for Reason Gaming just yet if you're a fan of them, or more so not a fan of Sync for whatever reason. But because Sync still has a lot of room to make up, and they most certainly can, especially with the heroes that they have. Hell, we don't even have a Portal Key yet on Pebbles, and that's coming fairly soon here. It's about 322 gold per minute, so Reason Gaming should be happy, but there's still a lot of work to do, I guess is the ultimate point there. Game number 3. Bottom lane? No. Nothing just yet, at least. They want to push it in, though. They do have numbers coming over. Cthulhu Funt's going to make his way over here. Are they going to actually try to push in or not, though? It doesn't look like, at least for the time being. Going to have to wait for another creep wave, at least, here. Warbeast, always kind of interesting to see what he prioritizes. You know, there's obviously a plethora of items that we've seen. The Soul's Bulwark, could be the just straight Shrunken, or the Brutalizer. What do you think makes sense here?
Is this for Tremble, sorry?
Warbeast. As actually pointed to the top lane real quickly. No, they're not going to get anything, though.
It depends, really. I think if he wants to have impacts, actually, in terms of maybe split push or even team find, I think Puzzle Box is actually great on Warbeast. It synergizes so well with the hero. Like, 3 out of the 4 spells are benefited if he goes Puzzle Box. So obviously, they take benefit of the Battle Cry, the Primal Rage, and the max movement speed from Metamorphosis. And I know, actually, Slapped is a firm believer on Puzzle Box, though. He gets it a lot of the time. But I guess it is a little bit dangerous sort of go, because obviously he's got Cthulhu in the game, so he can completely negate at least one of the Puzzle Box minions. And then if he obviously wants to have maybe a bit more split pushing potential than maybe Soul's Bulwark, I don't know, I still think Puzzle Box would be a little bit better, even though he's got to deal with the Cthulhu, because I think with him plus Tremble, split pushing, I think it's going to be too much to Reason to handle. And even if they start team fighting, Puzzle Box does a lot of work, so I'm going to say the Puzzle Box, but Brutalize or Soul's Bulwark is also pretty fun.
Yeah. Alright, we'll see what Slapped does decide to go for here. Again, upgrading the Steam boots. Imberboy pushing on the bottom tower, though, as he got credit for it. So 435 gold per minute. They want to try to kill this Tremble, looks like. And 4 is nearby. I don't know if they'd be able to do it by themselves, though. Tremble does have a Warp Cleft, by the way, as well. So working towards that Thunderclaw, like we saw last game on him. Boris is scouting things out as he can do, going into the Legion jungle and seeing who's in here, perhaps even setting up a flank at this bottom lane. We'll just put down a mound. Unfortunately, that's going to be destroyed, though, pretty quickly here. Zane actually gets credit for the tower deny at the top lane in the process. A good job of that, actually. Manages to pull it off with Warby's there. Well played on his part. Stack Ancients on the side of, or those are double stack, actually, for Sync Esports over here. Madman, he's kind of almost been quietly doing his thing as far as farm goes. Focusing a lot on Imba Boy and Doctor, but yeah, Embry 2-1-0, but 430 gold per minute here. He's the one with the Abyssal Skull and now a Steam Boots, and he's going to start progressing into more powerful, hard-hitting items, I'm sure, as we advance on here.
So Mickey's picked up the portal key now, and I don't think he's shown it just yet. He's in the bottom lane trying to sort of scout and try and go for a gank, but this ward is going to spot him actually. So Reason knows that Pebbles has got the portal key, and I think now Reason can play a lot more defensive. And as long as Pebbles doesn't have a completely dominating streak with this portal key, I think they should be decent. They have good ways of setting up ganks for themselves as well with the Doctor and for a combo. And Deadwood is closing on his portal key as well. Looks like he's going to rush portal key, and I think that might be the way to go because he's having a hard time. So just rushing the Blink Dagger it just is a good way to make sure that he secures it, kind of thing. If you go Steam Boots, it could be delayed by quite a large margin. So I did like the way Zane is doing it right here.
Yeah, making sure to get it. Dr. Repulsor, he's going to kind of play the babysit here in case he is jump, but as we see, that's not going to be happening. Doctor said will hide now. And he can't wait to see if anybody comes in here. But the Hellborn team, Sync, is elsewhere, and most specifically at their own Ancients once again. Swiftblade cleaning those up in the process. Tremble, though, 390 gold per minute now. Again, has that Thunderclaw here. So just like Game 1, KSU on Tremble. I mean, this game was more appropriate for him to have a better start. And, he did have a decent start, but, yeah, really is trying to scale up there now, so that's going to be something Reason Gaming is going to have to look for here. There's the Portakion Cthulhu Font, by the way. Again, still one coming on Deadwood at about 1820 gold saved up now. It was a top push, though, for Reason Gaming. From what I can tell, they're going to be successful with this because Sync right now is not looking to defend it, at least for the time being.
So actually sort of similar to Game 1 actually, Sync are farming incredibly efficient. They've got Katie farming their own jungle, Mickey was farming the enemy jungle, and then you had the rest farming the Ancients, while I think Glaciers was farming mid as well. And Reason, they've got 3 or 4 up top just trying to maybe sort of wait for a kill, but I think Sync knows what's going on. I think they know they're trying to bait with this Doctor Repulsor, and even if they lose the tier 1 tower, they're making good trades elsewhere on the map just by out-farming them a little bit. And actually, bottom lane, though, Warbeast might be in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble right here. I don't think he's getting away unless Pebble saves the day. He comes in, but the Falcon Punch hits, and the one more auto attack to finish him off. Dr. Pulsar stays alive. Here comes Treble, though. Cthulhu Font, he completely missed the trample, and that could be a saving grace for Pebbles right here in the long run. Obliterate is activated. Glacius now running in. That's going to be a dead Cthulhu Font as well. So, yeah, a couple of misplays on either side, but the end result, Cthulhu Font's dead. They did get Warbeats, but a 2-for-1 for Sync. And they're probably going to easily push in this bottom tower now as a result of all of that. So, yeah, missing that trample on Cthulhu Font definitely hurt them there.
Yeah, I mean, at least they did save the Doctor Repulsor, though. It was quite a clutch take out from Zane. I think he was like, Doctor Repulsor was one auto attack away from the Warbeast from killing him, but ulted on the Warbeast just before. So, good play from them. And at least they did save him. And they lost the Cthulhu Font and the Doctor and the Nymphora, but not the most important heroes, but they still lose the tier 2 tower. So, yeah, a little bit of... And I think the biggest thing, though, is not even just because they lose the gold from the tier 2 towers, it's that they lose even more control of their jungle. And like with Tremble as well, he has such a great ability to just farm the enemy jungle and not really have too much risk involved, really, because he can have like terraforms or mounds to really sort of scout out. I know it gives only very, very small vision, but it's enough to sort of see if a hero is coming or not. And then because of that, he can just back out if he needs to by sort of port into another mound as well. So. Just continuing the farm spree, it looks like.
Yeah. Warby's doing a pretty good job of using the Hellhounds to kind of scout things out. He did see Madman heading towards him at the top lane, so he kind of falls back, and it's good information because obviously Deadwood's up there as well with that portal key now ready to jump in, but unable to do so because, again, Warby's playing a little too defensively. Middle lane, tower is killed. Well played by Sync right there, and again, you just look at Tremble, man. Nearly 500 GPM all of a sudden. I mean, now that we're starting to see this hero once again, that he's back in tournament rules, it's like it reminds you just how crazy good this hero can be. and how ban-worthy he
Deadwood?
can be even. Deadwood
Oh, my
top
goodness.
lane. Okay, now he's going to be fine
Oh,
for
my
now.
goodness.
He still needs to get out of here, though. Portal key. No, he's going back in. Okay, because off to the side, actually, they poured it in. And they're locking down Warbeast. Warbeast, yes, it's going to be enough for Willowmaker just in case. Pretty sure he was dead. Pretty sure he was dead.
Secure the kill, boys. The funniest thing about that is that actually he ulted, right, but Imberboy still got the kill because the Willowmaker did actually zero damage. So, the secure the kill, boys. Just got to secure it. A good kill though, and I like that reason are still getting aggressive and still trying to be impactful, because that's what they need to do. Because, like I said before, the Zinc have been really out farming them, and the only way that Reason can get back into this game is not by out farming them, because they don't have the ability to out farm. Like, they're going against Warbeast and Tremble, who are some of the best farmers in the game right now. Instead, they're trying to utilize the advantage they do have, and that's ganking. You know, they're getting a lot of kills. So instead of farming creeps, they're farming heroes, kind of thing, and really punishing that. You know, Sync are sort of split farming most of the map. So good play from them.
Yeah. Slowing down Casey, it could be a key right here, and again, especially the fact that he's playing Tremble. When he's this GPM, Sync overall is pretty good. Again, it's not too surprising. They're 25-3. Oh, experience per minute, yeah. He is leading on that as well. 500 experience per minute, currently level 13, as we see. There's a Firebrand purchase on Swiftblade. Again, he's kind of been quiet here, 1-1-0. He is farming about 345 gold per minute now, though. So the late game potential on this Hellborn team is pretty damn scary.
Yeah.
So that goes back to, oh, that was an awkward misclick there by Glacius.
This is actually... Sorry, Brekkies, for interrupting you, but this is actually a really interesting item build coming out from Embrace. It looks like he's going first time Sheepstick, which to me is revolutionary. I've never really seen a madman go first time Sheepstick. But at the same time, I can understand its reasoning. First of all, he has the Abyssal Skull, so he can automatically sort of sustain himself in the jungle by AFK farming.
Well, why not No Stone?
The reason why he hasn't got no stone is that obviously it allows him to sort of burst down these heroes that have great escape tools. Obviously, you've got the Swiftblade Blade Frenzy, and then obviously the Strong Head now on on Tremble, but also the Warbeast Metamorphosis. So not only is it useful in terms of farming creeps, but it's good for sort of catching off heroes that are going to have difficulty in sort of catching.
What about him going no stone though? I think you're looking too much into it. To be honest.
Do you mean
Madman? Yeah.
Oh right, sorry, Frankie. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had to do a double take there because it's not your typical, to be fair, but yeah, he got the mana tube just for the mana regen right now. I'm pretty sure. So.
Oh man,
hey, Sheepstick is always good on any hero. I mean, we've talked about that.
He's got no stone.
Yeah, there you go. There's a no stone pick.
It's just you see Manashu, Blessed Orb, be like, oh yeah.
I've never done that before myself, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, that is pretty fun. Yeah. He's gonna pick up
top lane.
Top lane.
Yeah, Pebble's in trouble right here. He's gonna be completely locked down. Willowmaker the last second. I feel like he keeps using that almost as overkill, but he gets the kill nonetheless. And in the meantime, though, gets picked off. Look at Tremble's power right here, showing off with the double auto attacks constantly proccing. And Deadwood also going to be picked off. So a double tap for KZ. So it's one of those cases. Well, 2 for 1. I mean, they did kill Pebbles, but they lose their Deadwood and Nymphora in the process here. So
Sane trying to do his or do the portal key trick up the top lane, but now he's left his portal key up here. But it wouldn't have worked anyway. He was like short by about 3 mana. Like the courier comes and picks it up instead the top lane.
Yeah. This is going to be a pretty big push coming out here. Warbeast, again, he's got the glowing red hands. Level 4 battle cry. Never mind. They're going to start TPing away because meanwhile middle lane, yep, when vulnerability comes out, they want to defend that tower. Not only defend it, but very likely denied here in the process. You see Tremble going to go back
top lane.
in, or maybe not, as back to the top lane. Okay, they do catch Warbeast right here. Warbeast again going to fall. And now Glacius on the run. I think he might be, maybe not actually. Cleveland has a portal key in 1 second. There we go. Trample. As long as he lands this, he didn't trample in time. And actually, Glacius will be fine. Yeah, might not have mattered in the end, so. Falls back, but hey, they get the kill on Warbeast, like I said, and sure, the middle tower was denied, but Zlapt is struggling as far as dying here several times now, 1-3-1. And his GPM has kind of suffered as a result of that, but it's okay because he still have Tremble. 542 gold per minute now. And increasing.
I think he just got spoiled by this Word of Revelation. The Tremble.
Oh, the Tremble, yeah, they're coming in. Look at this. Now, Deadwood, he does see him. Has he Willowmaker? Yes, he does. He wants to go in. Okay, he hits him with the lock, but now they're going behind. Actually, Swiftblade is going to be fine because no more Rev Vortex up right here. Now they see him. Now they don't.
I think Flensmeister just saw it actually that he placed it. But, yeah.
I realize that. Okay, he falls back. So yeah, that could have been pretty deadly for Sync Esports if they overcommitted right there, but they do not. And instead, they will go back to farming. So I guess the question lies then. Again, they are working on a Hellflower here on Doctor, but I really think it's safe to say this Legion team needs to get things going in gear here, because the longer this game, like using them for impact, she's going to try it right here. But yeah, it's safe to say this Hellborn side is a very, very strong late game team, especially with how things are progressing.
This is risky.
It is. In fact, they could get turned if they're not careful.
Tremble though, they're gonna get spotted by this mound.
Yep.
Yeah. Kane's just gonna run back.
Another reason why mounds are strong. Scouting tools as well.
I think they could see him though. They spawned up top. I don't know if they want to dive though.
Probably not worth it. Yeah, gonna fall back and say. Again, he doesn't have the Hellflower yet, so he'll get anything.
But I think Recent are doing a good job though. Although Sync are out farming them, every single time Sync get maybe like 1,000 gold in terms of just out farming, and Recent get like a pick off. So it's kind of the trade that each team are doing. The only one issue is that Sync they're getting these Kongals, and I think they've got. Is this the first one? I think they've got. It might be the first one, but
there has not been a Congo. Or yeah,
right, okay.
This is the first one.
Before this one, yeah. So I think, and from now on as well, they can continue getting the next one over and over again, because obviously the Hellborn advantage, 2-1 towers down, as well as the 2 towers down bottom as well as just having great vision from the Hellhounds, for example. So that's the one advantage that I think Sync have over Reason. Obviously they've got the late game as well, and Reason, they don't really have ways of really closing out this game except through excessive ganking. And if Sync lose a hero here and there, I don't think they're going to be too worried, because they're out farming, and plus they've got Conqueror advantage. I think if Reason really want to take an advantage in this game, they need to be sort of ganking with 2 different heroes at once. One with maybe Dr. Pulsar and Nymphora, and maybe one with maybe Deadwood and Cthulhu on another. And that's where I think they might need to find their opening, but it's a lot easier said than done, and very, very risky at the same time.
Just a little bit. So, yeah, as much momentum as Raging Gaming had earlier on in this game, they're definitely in a decent control. It's just we've had a lot of stalemates since then, and clearly that's been a six advantage here. As now Tremble pushes in another tower, nearly 560 gold per minute really here. He's got a Brutalizer now to work with, so it's very scary here, as if it wasn't before. Tremble, he's also going to port to Conqueror. Pin actually runs right into Doctor. He went right past him. He doesn't have Boris with him, so can't really do much to him. But
yeah, Peb was close as well, so Doctor could have been in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dr. Pulse is going to pick up Stronger Head here, though. The only issue is, like, if he picks up Stronger Head, he's still going to be in a lot of trouble with the War Beast and the Tremble. But at the same time, like, getting Stronger Head is almost kind of vitally needed, because the Pebbles combo does nearly 1,000 damage, plus obviously Glacius as well, and he's picked up Vestments, and I think he might just go Vestments and leave Stronger Head, and just try and go all-out aggression, and maybe go to my Sheepstick next. He could even try and go for Frostfield Plate, because there is a lot of right-click damage coming out with the War Beast, and I think that might be even a little bit better, even though it will reduce his ganking potential, because there's so much physical damage here coming from the side of Sync.
Yeah. See Madman there working with that Nullstone. Again, he's working towards his own Trigger as you're talking about, so getting that, or again, possibly, not 100% guaranteed here by any means, but
I think it might be Brutalizer.
Yeah.
Madman's going.
I guess.
And
Yeah.
Brutalizer, it just synergizes so nicely with Madman, because like he picks up Brutalizer and he can literally just right click on maybe the Tremble, and Tremble's going to be like stun locked half of the team fight anyway, because of the amount of attack speed that Madman can get. So
Finish off the Ancients again, just progressing that farm. You see Deadwood once again up here with that Veiled Rot. He's done this a couple times now, trying to be sneaky and possibly set up a kill. He's got a level 2 Willowmaker now, but not going to get that opportunity as we see.
I think the only one he can kill by himself is Glacius, and even that might be a little bit hard now. Glacius is picking up, I think Sackstone. Looks like he's working towards his way. He'll need like +1. I guess they always have the +1 factor though with Nymphora, to be fair. So if he does find someone, Nymphora can just TP on with Dr. Repulsor. So not the biggest of deals in that respect, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a little bit of discussion going on as far as late game potential, late game carry potential of a hero like Tremble, and honestly, I think it's safe to say he's a hard carry. Like, and I think the passive is what makes that the Impalers. Again, that ability he's been changed around a little bit, but how it stands now with the double attack, that's a very, very strong tool that he can take advantage of over multiple cases. So, yeah, he's going to be a pretty big threat, and will be for the rest of this game, especially with how much farm he does have here. So.
Yeah, I mean, Swiftblade will out-carry him if both are 6-slotted. The reason being is because Trimble goes for these items that are not super late-game items. Like, he has to have the Brutalizer because it synergizes so well with the Impalers. And sort of same goes for Thunderclaw. They're not the greatest, late-game items because they're just too cheap. They're a little bit too... they're not luxury enough, kind of thing. But that doesn't matter too much because obviously he has a big impact in the late game as well. And he's going to get there before everyone else as well because he farms a lot faster than everyone because he can be at sort of 4 or 5 places on the map almost at the same time practically. So,
yeah.
I think they're happy to still keep on farming. Like I said, they're out farming him. I think the last 10 minutes they've gained about 3,000 or 4,000 gold because Reason, they haven't found any of those kills. Like I said, Sync have been out farming them, but Reason have been sort of equalising that with the kills. But Reason haven't found any kills in the last 5 minutes or so. But Sync, they're happy to sort of sit back, wait for the next Congo, and maybe after that go from there and maybe start pressuring because they've got Strongers now on all 3 of their calls.
Well, I really do feel like Reason Gaming, I don't know what's going to set that tone or whatever, but again, unlike last game where they had the same basic idea and the lineup in the sense of an Infora, Deadwood, and Dr. Repulsor especially here, you got a Cthulhu even on top of that, they were using it very frequently, I feel like. In this game, not the same story. We've seen very few attempts.
I think the biggest issue is that if Reason do go all-out aggression, okay, Sync are obviously going to respond to it. And the one difference between this game and last game is the Jeremiah factor. Like, Jeremiah automatically wins you the team fights at times, honestly. Or top lane that they're going in,
I was
Tremble.
Say that, yeah, they're porting it up here against Tremble. Not even necessary, though. Madman and Deadwood already taking care of business.
That's needed, though. The reason... Even though I think they even knew that they could kill Tremble by just them 2, but they needed the TP rotation because Sync could have rotated in. So it's good that they rotated over. All bottom lane though, Cthulhu gets out alive.
Okay. Gonna be fine, but you got some counter pushing out coming out from Sync. You got the Hellhound also kind of scouting it out up here, but Deadwood and Infora and Madman still hanging around, pushing in the top side. Reason gonna try to force Sync to make a decision here. As they do kind of see on the mini-map, at least a couple middle. In fact, they're going to initiate into the middle lane on a Swiftblade right here. Cthulhu with the trample follow-up. Here comes more, and down goes Swiftblade maybe. Oh my god, he initially survives, but not for long. Warby's got the hell on out of there ASAP. Popped his ultimate and ran away. Nymphora,
you're so dead.
So probably dead. He has a word of sight. Is he going to try to place it? What is he doing here?
Man up, mate. He's going to kill it. You can do it. Believe.
Did he place the ward?
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yeah, I was looking at the inventory. I was like, it's not in the inventory anymore, but that makes sense. Never mind. Because of the new word slot. But anyways, yeah, he's stuck around, and that's what happened.
But I think that's the good thing about Reason, though, is because although they are getting out farmed, the last 5 minutes, Sync will just be farming all the time, but because of that 1 or 2 kills, Reason have completely brought back the gold disadvantage. Obviously, they're still down by 3,000 gold, but that's not the biggest of differences now. It's like 30 minutes in already, so... I think they're happy to where it is, and there's still a lot of room for all of their heroes to grow as well. Although Sync do have the better late game, Madman, Deadwood, Cthulhu, and even Dr. Repulsor can go more items as well. So as long as they don't go super late game carry, I think they should be fine. But I mean, even in the late game, they have ways around it, like because of the Nymphora factor. Like that's going to be with them throughout the game. Like if they get one big pick off in the late game, I mean that can be racks instead of just increase the golden experience kind of thing. It's the same means but different ends.
Yeah. Look at Tremble. Yeah, that's Tremble soloing Congo right here. The rest of the team just sits on the uphill. It's not even needed for them to be in there. In fact, he just got a demonic breastplate finish as well. So this Congo is going to start dropping, or it has already been dropping pretty quickly. Warby still even joining the party now. It's going to be a Congo kill. They're not stopping a Legion team, and I don't know if they even had vision of this, honestly. You figure they have at least an idea, but... Yeah, no.
I think it doesn't even matter because I think Reason realised that every single Congo is going to go the way of Sync. They can't contest it because it's just they can't really take the team fights in that sort of surrounded area. So instead they try and go for the trades, which they can do. They get the tier 2 tower bot, and Immaboy is still pushing on. And this is the right play to make. He's got a TP, so he can maybe pressure the tier 3 tower while Sync go and take the tier 2. So.
Yeah.
Good play, as long as no one gets picked off in the meantime.
Now,
They force rotation out from Glacius, which is good, and now it forces Sync back. So yeah, it's a really good play coming from Imberboy there.
Definitely,
and
yeah.
he's going to TP out and be fun. So good play.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, not being able to defend Congress, and might as well make the best of it elsewhere. And it's pretty much what Rising Gaming at least attempts to accomplish there, pretty successfully, might I add. And he has the Shrunken Head now on himself. But you look at Tremble back at him. He's got the token now. He's working with. Probably see an eventual full charged hammer, I'm sure, as a result of the Thunderclaw he's picked up. What is this about? Imberboy, the only player in the game to not have a death, and as long as he stays at 6 deaths or fewer, Reason to win more than they lose. Okay, well, he's, well on his way to beating that, but, it's not 100% winning percentage by any means. But, usually when a carry player doesn't die, obviously he sets up for good signs. And right now, he's 4-0-4, so that is good news, definitely, for Reason here.
So there was closing on the bulwark, and that will be a big factor because we talked about how the physical presence here from Sync is ridiculous, and not only that, it's going to help him in terms of the ganks as well. Obviously, because it's just so nice with the Willowmaker. Madman actually picks up a Shrunken Head as well, so I think Reason are ready to team fight. Shrunken Head on Dox, Repulsor, Shrunken Head on Madman. The one issue though is that they don't have buyback except for the Doctor Repulsor, and I think he might not even have a buyback if he does. So. This could be a massive team fight up and coming. That's if Reason even want a team fight.
Right now, they
pushing.
obviously don't. Yeah, they're going to split push, and I think they might force Sync to fall back again. And oh no, they're starting to fall back themselves, so never mind.
Sync are going to push well too fast with Tremble and Warbeast, to be fair. So they're going to have to fight this one back at base.
Tremble on the front line is going to has that token. He dodges the Rotten Grasp, puts down a mount, makes himself a little quicker and whatnot. Dr. Repulsor goes in, their choice is Swiftblade. Pebbles with the reaction, a big cluster right here, and holy crap, Reason Gaming is just melting all across the board. Cthulhu Font does stay alive barely, but not for long. They couldn't even kill Swiftblade. The target they jumped initially, Dr. buys back. He's still trying to kill Swiftblade, and he can't do that, and now he's out of mana. And he is going to die again, and that's one of those decisions where that could do it in.
He didn't use Shrunken Head Breaky. He didn't use it the first time, didn't use it the second time, and then he dies both times. Oh, Imberboy.
Wow. Did he not get... Yeah, no, there's no Hellflower or anything. There is no excuse for that. You're right.
Oh, dear.
That is a big no-no. That's a B-kid right there.
They could lose 2 racks right here as well, because there's no tier 2s out. Yeah, they're going to lose 2 racks. They might even go... Yeah, they're going to go throne. Oh, no, Imberboy. He got locked down instantly. He had to be forced to buy back, and then after that... doesn't use it again, and this could be game break. Yeah, this might be GG.
That's game. Yeah, that's going to do it. Yeah, they're just going straight for the World Tree as they appropriately should right here. No buybacks. Obviously, everything is just Deadwood into 4. Sync Esports, they probably just pulled it off, and they're going to the Grand Finals most likely. You see Deadwood, he picks up Glacius. Teammates don't care, though. And there goes the World Tree. GG, well played. Sync are going to the Grand Finals yet again. Reason Gaming, it was close. They could feel it, but... if you make mistakes like that, you're not going to beat Sync Esports. It's just as simple as that.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Like, they played so well, Breaky as well. They played so well. Like, even though they were getting out farmed and Sync were sort of taking control of the game, they knew exactly what they had to do. They took their advantages and capitalized when Sync made mistakes, and they played their strategy very, very well. A quite reliable and just quite a sophisticated Reason game, honestly. It's something I haven't seen before yet. Just saying as simple as that, Breaky, can be the difference between losing and winning the team fight.
Did he really not use it? I'm just so baffled.
He did. I was watching him the whole time. He didn't use Shrunken Head the first time. He brought back. He didn't use Shrunken Head the second time, Breaky, and like he got bursted down completely. He wasn't able to do anything in that whole team fight. And I mean, it might have not made a big of an impact because obviously there was 2 Shrunken Heads up on Sync, or 3 Shrunken Heads on Sync anyway. But still.
Well, how about that? What about the choice to even go Swiftblade in the first place? Was that their best target? Because they actively chose that.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, Pebbles is really, really tank. It's hard to say, honestly. They shouldn't have gone off the Tremble, which was obviously the right decision. I think they should have just sort of slow pushed it, though. Like, they could have easily defended it with Rotten Grass, plus Nufora, and even Madman. They didn't have to rush in like that. It felt a little bit rushed in terms of sort of trying to burst down the Flensmeister, because I saw Imberboy, he flew in, hellflowered him, but there was no follow-up from like Deadwood or the Cthulhu charge until everyone's popped up the Shrunken Heads, and when that happens, team fights are lost, and oh man, that game is just it's unfortunate because they were playing so well, and then just for one team fight to go wrong, and then they just lose it, man. But commiserations to them. But I think they played well though. Again, keeping their cool, even though Reason were looking strong, not only in game 2 obviously, but in game 3 as well.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely learned a lot from Reason Gaming that they can compete, and they were on the verge of being only the second team this season to beat Sync Esports in the series. But again, it wasn't to be, and yeah, sure, that mistake in the end was the very crucial one, but all throughout there was no doubt mistakes earlier that we pointed out, and even on both sides, again, it wasn't the prettiest games either by Sync Esports, but hey, they do come out on top, and obviously that's the end result that matters. So they're feeling pretty good, no matter how pretty or not pretty it was. And in the end, they're going to the grand finals, where they will be up 1-0 in a best-of-5 as it usually works. So yet again, setting themselves up in a very, very good situation here to take another cycle. And as we pointed out, from a point standpoint from where they're at, they're basically number 1 seed. I'm pretty sure I haven't done the math 100%, but waiting for Quincy to get on that. No, but I think it's safe to say they are going to be the number 1 team no matter what happens here. But really the prize pool, individual prize pool for this cycle, nearly $40,000, the biggest any season has had. And they're setting themselves up to take home nearly $10,000 of that as a result of perhaps getting first place. So congratulations once again to Sync Esports as far as Reason goes. Hey, they lose here, but there's still hope. They now knocked out in the Losers Bracket Finals, where they will match up against Willowkeeper yet again. It's going to be a rematch of these two teams that met up, of course, in the previous round of what was the Winter Bracket Semifinals. And that's going to be fun. Of course, both the teams going to be looking to get yet again another rematch against Sync Esports in the end. And that should be a fun one, as well as eventually the Grand Finals, of course, which will take place tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. Going to be coming back at you in Honcast tomorrow with Reason Gaming versus Willowkeeper. The winner plays Sync Esports in the Grand Finals. Minnie, any final words for today as we are going to be wrapping up now?
Yeah, just one final word. Obviously, congratulations to Sync, but I'm actually going to be streaming after this, or I'm streaming now, actually, just sort of getting into it. And I've got a second monitor as well, so I can read chat without having an outbreaky. So if you guys want to come and watch me stream, I'll be on over at www.twitch.tv/mini_maggot. And I'll just be doing some TMM with Akami probably, and see where the night takes us,
All right.
Party and all that lot.
Second monitor, man, that's welcome to the future. That is next level right there. No, well, glad to hear that that's working out for you. No, so definitely head on over there. Or you could also head over to Quincy. Quincy is streaming if you want to get more of that here. Quincy is casting some gold matches, I believe. It's casting actually a Night Raid versus Name is Irrelevant, apparently, is their name. Which I guess actually Narcy and Diggler were a part of. So anyways, that should be a fun series over there. If you want to check out the replay cast, twitch.tv/Quincy0191. By the way, BMG did defeat Night Raid for what it's worth in the gold division. And so that means BMG is actually now 1 win away from returning back to Cycle 8 Diamond. If they lose, though, they will remain in gold, is what they'll have to face Kulo is the team that they're playing against. Shrek is Love is in the grand finals. And again, they're already coming back. But Kulo, you got Archie Tiger, Adro, Akami, Marcus Moy. I mean, that's actually going to be interesting. And that's not a guarantee win by any means for BMG. So,
well, they actually beat BMG in the build-up to that matchip as well.
They did, you're right.
Yeah, Akami was telling me, and they said we smashed BMG. No, I'm joking, but so yeah, it's going to be good interest. I mean, yeah, I just kid. But yeah, so they beat him before, so yeah, it'll be definitely an interesting game to sort of see it out, and who knows.
That's going to be fun. Again, paying attention to that. Maybe we'll see if anyone's going to be casting it. We had some people casting the Gold Division today, so we'll see if that happens tomorrow. But again, tomorrow for us, obviously, Diamond Division is what we're focusing on as we got it all set up here. And these aren't updated just yet, but again, Sync in the Grand Finals. We got Reason versus Willowkeeper.